Hey, Charlie Sykes, you know the first thing that I thought about when I heard about the election of the first American Pope, Pope Leo the 14th? I thought, history may not repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes. By the way, that's really not a Mark Twain quote. And I was thinking about 1978 when Pope John Paul II was elected Pope. Poland was on the brink, Europe was on the brink, the world was on the brink, and the Catholic Church decided to elect the first Polish Pope ever. And history was changed by that decision. Now it's 2025. The United States is on the brink. Europe is on the brink. All of the Americans are on the brink. And the church decides to do something it's never done before that they used to think of as unthinkable. They elected the first American Pope. And not just any American Pope, not just any Pope. Pope Leo the 14th is an American Pope who has been willing to call out the moral issues about the issues of our time. Now, we don't know why the church chose him. They looked around the world and they saw all of the issues, all of the moral challenges, the political challenges, the social challenges, but they thought that this was the moment. This was the moment to address what is happening right now with a strong moral voice that would push back against the Trump regime. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say that this is the first never Trump Pope, but think about what he's been willing to do. This American Pope, as recently as February, was willing to take on Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Remember when J.D. Vance was putting out his gospel according to J.D. and he was talking about the order of loves to justify the mass deportations and the slash of aid to poor and hungry people? The order of love was that we loved our family first, and then we loved our community, and everybody else in the world can kind of go get fucked. The Pope called him out and said, no, that's wrong. That is a misreading of the parable of the Good Samaritan. And the new American Pope also tweeted this out, saying very clearly, J.D. Vance is wrong. And that is not the only time he's been willing to do that. Remember when Donald Trump met with the thug dictator of El Salvador, when they were yucking it up in the Oval Office about the illegal rendition of the Maryland Man to El Salvador? Well, the new American Pope also tweeted out about that, actually quoting the auxiliary bishop of DC, saying, do you not see the suffering? Is your conscience not disturbed? How can you stay quiet? He was willing to call them out. And this is not an outlier. This new American Pope has been doing this for years. In fact, back in 2017, when James Martin, the very well-known Jesuit priest, tweeted out, we're banning Syrian refugees, the men, women, and children who most need help. What an immoral nation we are becoming. Jesus weeps. The American Pope tweeted that out. The next year, 2018, when one of his fellow cardinals tweeted, there is nothing remotely Christian, American, or morally defensible about a policy that takes children away from their parents and warehouses them in cages. This is being carried out in our name, and the shame is on us all. This new American Pope tweeted that out. So this election of this American Pope could be a pivotal moment because he is willing to raise the issues and say the things that so many other moral leaders of our times have failed to do. We've been looking for somebody who would give voice to the moral challenge to what this administration is doing. And we haven't gotten it. Let's face it. We haven't gotten it from the institutions that we were counting on. Maybe we will get it from this Pope. Now, when I say that it's a potentially pivotal moment, it's because we have to have a little bit of humility because we can't predict what's going to happen in the future. History is unknowable. And sometimes these pivotal moments, these vectors of history, come upon us unnoticed, unannounced. And sometimes what we think of as a turning point in history disappoints. Who knows what will happen? But what we do know is that at this moment in history, the Catholic Church has decided to put somebody in the papacy who can speak to what is happening, and I think that's going to be significant. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that he will be able to remind millions, if not billions of Christians what they used to believe, what their fundamental Christian values really are. We can only hope. Now, I'll write about this some more, but I wanted to put out this word tonight because I think it's important on a day like today to remind ourselves that we are not the crazy ones. Thank you.